Welcome to the Stoney Love Show, where each show is inspirational, delightful, encouraging, and amazing as you are. Live from Atlanta, Georgia on 108 Praise Radio and Clark TV Network, here's your host, Stoney Love.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Yes, although it's raining and the clouds are out, it's still a beautiful morning. So be your own sunshine and make the best of today count. If an opportunity doesn't knock, then build your own door. That's right. Sometimes, you just got to go and make it happen for yourself. And you can't sit around and wait for someone to cater to you, to bring it to you. And you sure can't rub a genie in the bottle and make it happen. We have to make it happen for ourselves. And today's guest will be author, motivational speaker, Anjanae Adams. I hope I said that right. She's going to be joining us virtually in a little bit. And we're going to be speaking about her motivational speaking and her books that she has previously written. And we're going to see what she has in the bag cooking for us right now. And in the news today, one killed in a shooting in Riverdale at a takeout restaurant. And abortion appointments canceled as Georgians reacts to court ruling. And an Alpharetta man travels to Chicago to kill his estranged wife. So we know that's premeditated. So no mercy from the jury. And police is searching for four suspects in an armed robbery in a Waffle House parking lot shooting. So you guys be careful out there. People are just losing their minds. And be careful when driving. And I want to say, as I came on the air this morning, I received notice that one of my family members is in the hospital, and I pray for a great recovery for my aunt and my cousin. May God be with you and all of us. So, as we begin this morning, we have author, motivational speaker, Anjanae Jean Adams. Did I say that right? I didn't say it right? Okay, I can't hear her. She can hear me. You can hear me though, right?
Hear you.
Okay, there it is. Okay, so did I said your name wrong? Is it
Yes.
okay? Tell everybody how to properly say your name.
It's E and it is Janae. E Janae.
Oh, so what was I saying? Ajane? I had given you a
So it's
French.
E Janae.
I've given you a French name. Okay, so it's Ejanae.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ejanae. Okay. Well, we have motivational speaker Arthur Ejanae with us today, you guys. And tell us about. I know you've written a series of books. Started off with one book, and all of a sudden, I keep seeing these new release parties, and I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, I'm trying to catch up with the first book. And so now, hold on, and then I seen a movie, and I'm like, okay, what's she doing now? And then I seen the motivational speaker. So you're doing your thing. So congratulations on that.
I did. I did. Okay, so um well, I have to start from the beginning. From the beginning. Good morning. First of all, good morning, good morning, good morning. And thank you so much for having me on your show.
You're
All
welcome.
virtual yet again. But that's what the book came out doing virtual season. So
Yes,
yeah.
it's
But back
okay.
in 2018, my 9-year-old niece committed suicide due to racial bullying in school. And that next month, like she passed in December, January of 19, I started being a motivational speaker. And I've spoke in so many different cities and states over that time and even up until now. And but in 19, I met a writing coach. And she was like, "Oh, your story is so inspiring. You really should tell people about that story. And at that time, it was too soon to write a book about what happened to Mackenzie because I would tell too much and we were in court and I'd probably go to jail. So I was like, no, let's talk about something everybody goes through, which is marriage and divorce. So January 1st of 2020, I released my first book. It's called What Death Do We Part? And it is
Yes.
about marriage and divorce in the church, family, backstabbing, just a whole lot of drama and juiciness. And then the pandemic hit. And
Yes.
so June 1st, I dropped the second book, the What Death Do We Part 2. And since we're still in the pandemic, so August 30th on my birthday, I dropped Living Life After Death. That became my first bestseller. That's when I got into the supernatural world of talking about death, talking about what families go through, planning a funeral as if you just had the biggest trauma happen in your life, losing a loved one. Now you have to plan the last time you're going to see them. And so that book became my first bestseller. Then I wrote another book since we're still in the pandemic in 2020, December 31st. I released Living Life After Death Part 2. And that too is also a bestseller as well on Amazon. And
Oh,
then
wow.
as of current, I've turned book one into a movie that is streaming on my website, ejanallc.com right now. So,
Oh, that's
yeah.
beautiful. So it's a short film that we can see on your
Oh, no,
website?
ma'am. It's a feature film. It's a full 93-minute film. It is a full feature.
Well, I am so proud of you. When I say you have gone from, I remember meeting you years ago, and
Yes,
you have definitely flourished, and you're living your dream, and that is awesome. So,
yes.
what do you now? I know you talked about your niece briefly. Are all of your motivational speakings are about suicide and bullying? Is that your campaign now?
So most of it is when it pertains to everything, when it comes to grief, everybody is grieving in some way, form, or fashion. So grief is usually placed within my presentations wherever I am because somebody is still dealing with grief of some kind. If it's grief of the loss of a loved one, a friend, a job, whatever grief has come into their life. Grief is a part of everybody's life, but not all motivational speaking is about bullying, nor suicide is encouraging words, is encouragement to women in leadership, because I was at a business entrepreneurship awards in Mississippi a couple of weeks ago. I spoke there. I'm speaking at an award show on the next Sunday, the 31st, in Phoenix City, Alabama. So everything is not about bully, suicide, and grief, but that is what I specialize in. But I also specialize in encouragement as well, so that even when I'm talking about those three in the end, the encouragement is to keep living your dream, to make sure that whatever you do or whomever or whatever you've lost, you find peace in that and live. So, yes.
Wow, that's beautiful. I, I'm. My question is about your about the suicide and
Yes.
recognizing that in children. How do we recognize? Did you or your family see any inclination of her being troubled to the point of wanting to leave?
So a lot of things that when Mackenzie passed back in 18, it was so many speculations about why and how and different, everybody's opinion. But the truth of the matter is that my mom has been in the mental health system as far as a case manager for over 30 years, meaning that she was well aware of everything that was going on in Mackenzie's life. And yes, she lived with my mother, but that's not uncommon in the country because they were living in Linden, Alabama, where the parents, of course, she's helped me with my kids. If I had to move away for a job, they keep our kids, our parents keep our kids for us as we go back and forth to build that life in the next,
Right.
location that's betterment for our kids. And that's what was going on with my sister and Mackenzie. Mackenzie lived with my mom, and my sister lived in another city where she got a better job, and it was a year into that where she was, going back and forth seeing her daughter. But the mental health part is that yes, they knew Mackenzie was being bullied. Yes, they went to the school on a regular basis. Yes, the school is not going to let you just sit in their school all day to monitor the things that they claimed that they were going to do and did not do. Yes, there was a lot of favoritism shown to the students that were bullying Mackenzie, and things were not handled in the proper manner. At that time, my sister and I both worked in the school system, which I had been working for 10 years. And we were taking the things that we knew from the systems that we worked at and implemented it into the things that were supposed to go on for Mackenzie. So yes, my mom recognized everything that was going on. They set the meetings, they talked about plans, and nothing was done on the school part. The reason for the calls and the continually going to the school on the behalf of my mom and my sister. So they knew she was being bullied. It wasn't like, oh, we didn't know. Yeah. But my family knew, the school knew there was a plan. There was supposed to be action on the school part, but the school was making unrealistic uh, plans, or saying they would do certain things, and they knew it was unrealistic. Like if somebody did something to Mackenzie in class, leave out and come to the principal or counselor's office. Well, she has to get permission from the teacher first. We all know that. And if the teacher says no, then that nulls and voids the whole point of the plan. So the plan was not executed. It wasn't even really realistically able to happen if someone is constantly bothering you. So you have to constantly interrupt the class. And so that becomes a disturbance. And so that's more things put on a 9-year-old that she was already dealing with in the class of the bullies that were bullying her along with the adults in the school, in the teacher as well, because of the unrealisticness that they say was supposed to take place that never did.
So, how does a parent recognize if a child is not talking? What are some of the symbols and signs that we would recognize that our child is possibly either being bullied and or thinking of suicide?
So things are a lot different, because when I started talking about this in 2018, 19, everybody was like, oh, things are so different. We didn't ever think about bullying, this, and that, and the third, or suicide. And the truth of the matter is that people were. You may not have been thinking about suicide because you had a stronger, maybe support system, or even within yourself, a mindset. But everybody is not the same. And I said that to say this: kids are, and I drove school buses for 8 of the 10 years I was in the school system. So I saw so much. If I was to pull cameras for 9.9% out of 10 parents to show them exactly who their child was, they wouldn't believe it. Because when our kids are not with us, they become who they are.
Right.
And who they are to strangers like me as a bus driver pulling up to your house or your stop, they become who they are. And sometimes that's not who you raise them to be. And some kids are picked on because they are nice looking. Some kids are picked on because they talk a certain way. In this day and time, most of it was not even about name brand clothes. It was about a status. It was about who you hang with, who don't like you. Can you really play ball? Are you really a cheerleader? Oh, I can cheer. I can play better than you. It was always a competition of, I can do better than you. And their child is trying to fit in somebody's almost gang,
Right.
just to make sure that they're covered and won't be bullied. It's hard for these kids to step out and be a leader because then they will be isolated. And then now you think, oh, they're isolated, they're going to commit suicide. They're being bullied. But no, they're actually the strong ones that are taking that stand to get out of the foolishness that will cause them to get into trouble and to cause them to have to bully and pick on someone that they don't feel needs to be picked on, and become a leader to tell those guys in the groups to stop. So things have really changed. How to pinpoint your child is going to be you watching your child, because my child is different from your child and your child is different from the next person's child. You really, as a parent, as hard as it is keeping food on the table, roof over the kids' heads, it is difficult, but you have to zone in. You have to get help from other people. If you have to befriend a teenager to say, hey, what's going on? What are they doing? Talk to the bus drivers, talk to teachers, people that care, that sees your child outside of what you see your child as, and just all around. Like sometimes I just pop up a bus like, hey, what's up, bus driver? What that got going on? And they be like, ooh, let me tell you, or oh, that's good. Or I'll come up to the school and ask the secretary. The secretaries and the janitors, they see everything. These are the people as adults, as parents, we need to get acquainted with, because they see inside. Teachers have a schedule and they have to do so much structured work. People don't understand that. Yes, they see things, but sometimes they can't address it. That's because right. By the time it happens, the kids run away. But as a bus driver, I can close my door and be like, hold on, player, we're going to address this right now. And I got 3 cameras on the inside, so whatever happens, we can pull the footage. We got that fact. Sometimes the teachers can't really do that. So get acquainted with those janitors, those cafeteria workers, the secretaries, people that a lot of people look over, look past, look around. But those are the main people that knows everything that goes on in those schools.
Wow, I never thought of it that way, and that is so true. Now, getting back to your writing, and thank you so much for that information, because a lot of people are afraid to touch on that subject. They don't want to talk about bullying and kids in school. They just want everything to be okay when they go to school, and then they want them to be able to come back home and do their homework. But this is not 1975. This is 2022, and things are so different. So very different. Yeah. Now, getting back to your So Death Do Us Part 1, what motivated you to write that book? You said it was just a lot going on in the churches and in the rooms and I'm confused. I'm like, wait a minute.
That book, okay, so honestly, when I started, I was like, I don't want to write no book. I don't even really want to read no book. But I had looked back through some notes, and I had wrote way back when. I was like, I want to write this book called What Death Do We Part? Because when I was married, my first marriage, I was, my husband was a pastor. And I saw, now, mind you, I was born and raised in the church, meaning I'm from Linden, Alabama, South Alabama. So we did this Baptist quartet thing. So we was in church 24/80, right? Yes. So all I knew was church. If you said, all you had to do was say Psalms, and I had all of them. Not so much now. However, if I look it up on Gateway Bible on my phone, don't get it twisted. Anywho, so I had seen so much in the church where it was like, what is you grown people doing? And as a child, you sit in the car because the parents say, go get in the car, I be on, and you just people watch. So I am an avid people watcher even now, because that's, kind of how I was trained, because we as kids go sit in the car with our parents. It'd be next 3 days before they get there. And I'm just like, yo, we hungry. When we leaving, right? When are we leaving? I had wrote something in my early 20s, I guess like 1920, and it was called What Death Do We Part? And What Death Do We Part are part of the phrase that you speak to each other at the altar. And when I say death, and people, a lot of journalists and radio hosts, when they see the word death in all of my books, they're like, oh, you think about it as death, but this particular death is not a physical death. This
Right.
death is the things that die in your marriage. These are the things that you go through and you don't overcome, and how many actual deaths will part the two that is in this marriage. So that's the meaning of what death do we part. Like, what death? Like, I'll take this, I'll take that, but I'm not taking this. And does the good outweigh the bad? So if the bad is heavier than the good, and all the bad is the deaths that have died in your marriage, are they unrevivable? Or is it that you both don't want to revive? Somebody do, somebody don't. Are you going to do it together or not? And if not, then what death caused you to not make it? So that's the meaning.
So, are any of the characters that are in one, are they in two? Or we have a whole new set of characters?
So, I guess, subconsciously, because consciously, first of all, none of this supposed to happen. Because I was supposed to do one book, one and done. And my writing coach was like, yeah, let's do another one. I'm like, girl. And she was like, yeah, let's do another one. I'm like, stop. She was like, yeah, let's do another one. Would you leave me alone? And right now, we're working on book 5 that's supposed to come out next month. And I'm just like, here I am with this girl again. But I love people that can push me like I push
To
other
the
people.
next
Because
level.
it's very hard to
Yes.
find when you
Yes.
are an independent, person, have an independent mind, very strong-minded. It's hard to find a person that can outstrong you, and I love it. So my
Wow.
5th book will be out next month. But back to these 4, I guess she had it in her mind, but in my mind, I didn't. But fortunately, the main character, Pam, is through all 4 books. So, yeah. And some people from book 1 made it to book 2, but almost everybody except Pam is left in book 3 and 4. So most people after book 2 dropped off, and a whole new set of characters came in 3 and 4.
Wow. So these are stories based off things that you've seen at church, or
Yeah.
or just doing the relationships.
Especially book number 2. Book number 2 is definitely, because I believe in the what is it, the foreword or whatever, the description of the book in the back. It talks about me as a little girl watching people in church, and how you see individuals with one family at one location and a different family at the next location. Oh yeah, girl, yeah.
I grew up in the church
Yeah.
as well, so I'm very familiar with those stories. Well, not quite those stories, but
Right.
yeah, there are some very interesting stories. And I just finished my first book called Growing Up Mechanicsville that will be debuting sometime before my birthday in September. So I'm excited about that. And then we're working on part
Yeah.
2. So, but it's a real life story. So interesting that our journey has both led us down to writing. And so I remember as a little girl myself, I had been trying to get it all out and get it all out and get it all out over the years. And I have notes everywhere. And then finally I met someone that said, hey, let me help you through this. And so
Yeah.
it's helpful when you have an experienced writer, like you say you have a coach, to help you get all of those thoughts out and all of those ideas out and let them flow. And so I'm excited for you, especially about your movie. I'm going to have to go to your website and check that out. Tell everybody where they can get a copy of your books.
Absolutely. So all 4 of my books are available on my website, which is ejenellc.com. That's EJENELLC.com. All of them, all 4 are right there on my website. Also, my movie is there. It is streaming right now. But the movie is $7.77. And it is also on ejenellc.com. So there is a story behind the movie. I had to film the movie twice.
Really?
Yes, it was an experience.
So you're the director
To
of
say
your
the least.
of the movie?
Ma'am.
Are you the director of the movie?
Oh yeah, I'm the, because it's my first book turned into a movie, so I'm the writer, director, and the producer.
Oh Lord, she wearing all the hats. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, yes,
That's
yes.
what I'm talking about.
And I cast, of course, as well. But the movie that is out, it is book one turned into a movie. It is called The Revenge because of what we had to go through to get that movie shot. The Revenge is the success of the movie, and that the movie actually is out. It is. It was shot with great footage, and has a great storyline and put together. It actually had to be rewritten, so it is from book one, but it had to be altered because the other script is caught up in court.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
Are they trying to say you infringing something? I can't say that with you. You don't seem like that type because you're a Virgo like me. We're original.
Yes. Yes.
We definitely
Yes.
are.
Yes.
We are very creative. We don't need to look at nobody else's stuff and take nothing because God has already given
Yep.
us.
Absolutely.
I've just been 1,000. So now, with you got the book. Oh, I wanted to say I like your concept of how you're making your money, how you're keeping all your money on your website. So a lot of people don't know that. I caught that because yeah, when you're selling your own book, you're getting all the proceeds and you're streaming your own
Absolutely.
movie. Right. Now
Yes.
you of course you're gonna split that the little bit with Amazon because of their it's on there. But when they're
Right.
buying it from you, it's all yours. So make sure you guys support Ejanae by buying her book off her website. I'm not saying if you're not on Amazon and you want to buy a couple of extra copies, get those too. But all the money goes
Yes.
to her when you purchase online. So smart business move. I'm in the process. The reason why I caught that because I'm in the process of doing the same thing. So there's so many ways to do it, and a lot of people don't. They don't know that.
Absolutely.
They're just out here sharing their coins with everybody, and so
Right.
they're like, "Wait a minute, I only get $2," and yeah,
Right.
well, yeah, you got to read the fine line. So there it is. Is there anything else you have upcoming that's
Oh God, yes. Oh God, yes. So I filmed my third movie
Oh wow.
in June. It will be out next month as well.
Okay.
But it was a comedy special. I don't know if you guys remember Cliff Cole. He used to help me produce a lot of the radio shows that I was on, and I was a host at a lot of his comedy events. And he passed last year, and
Oh
so
wow.
I did a comedy special in his honor last month. And we're in post production of editing that movie, and it'll come out next month, August 20th. But when we were there, a lot of the comedians that was picked out, and we are putting them on tour. So from that particular movie. So August 19th, we'll jumpstart the tour. It is called the EBT Tour, meaning Eat Better Together is what EBT stands for. But EBT, of course, will catch a lot of people's attention because of EBT. However, there's an acronym, and it is a real heartfelt meaning behind that. And each comedian is going to bring that out in their set along with the flow of whatever else they got going on.
And I
But
know
the EBT
somebody
tour
gonna
starts
ask, can
August
they pay for
19th
it
in
with
Buena
the?
Vista, Georgia. We're going to have the blue carpet movie premiere of the actual comedy special movie on August 20th and tomorrow. And then August 21st, we'll do second date of part of the tour in Phoenix City, Alabama. And then we will pause for several months for a lot of reasons because Cortez from Wildin' Out, Nick Cannon's MTV Wildin' Out, is a part of the EBT tour, and he's also in the movie, and he has to go and film. And once he's done, he comes back. We'll pick back up in November, parts of December. Me and my fiance get married at the end of December. We're going on honeymoon in January and February. Is when we're gonna go on a 10-city tour, and we're gonna be ready to do this thing in 2023.
Oh, that is
Oh, in the
beautiful.
meantime, I'm gonna film book number 3, which is movie number 4, the first part of November. So yeah, that's the rest of
Wow. I
2022.
know I saw that big bling bling. I was like, I was gonna ask you about that, and I'm like,
I
wait a
throw it
minute.
around a little bit real fast.
Oh yeah, you be like, hey, how y'all doing? Good morning. I seen it. Well, he did a great job because it's a big one. It's nice. It's really nice,
Yes,
and
yes.
he is so very lucky and well blessed to have you. He
Thank
definitely is.
you.
I don't remember ever seeing him. I just be scrolling on Facebook, so I have to go back
Right.
and look. But I know you'll make the announcement, and I know
Yeah,
you
he
have
on there.
you've
Well, he's
invited
also
me.
an R&B singer too. So
He's he's an
I
R&B
manage
singer.
him as well. So
Oh, he's an R&B
usually
singer.
everywhere that I do a book tour or whatever we're doing, he's performing. So yeah.
Okay. Now, whatever happened to your co-host? What is that guy?
I don't know, cause like the radio station dissolved the show, and like everybody kind of went. But then when they did that, it was during the time Mackenzie had passed, so I wasn't really in the loop, and I wasn't. My mind wasn't really like on that. Had to do family at that time, and then COVID happened, so I just everybody kind of lost touch. So I don't know where everybody is.
Wow. Well, I remember him, but I can't remember his name. Um, but
It was smoke. It was smoke because
oh
I still have
yeah,
the email. Yeah.
that's who it was. Okay, yeah, I remember him. I thought y'all were a good team together, but
Yeah,
but
yeah, but I don't know. I know he was from Baltimore, and I know he had talks about going back
right,
for some family reasons. So, but like I said, I was so not. When Mackenzie passed, it was all about my family and
family.
getting healing, getting the process started. I just was kind of
I
zoned out.
corny. Right. Well, we're gonna wrap things up here. My other guest canceled this morning. The rain and everything. So, and it's so early. So
I
that
know.
leaves me more time to go get my hair done and do all the other stuff I need to do. So I'm going to leave you with this quote: If you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal and not people or things. So that means that's what will make us happy. Focus on our goals and winning, just like you have. You've made such a great accomplishment because you've been focused on yourself and building for yourself and not everybody else. Now we all can enjoy what you've done. So I'm so
Yes.
proud of you. Keep up the good
Thank
work. I
you.
know that you invite me to some of your outings. Never think that I don't want to come. It's just that my schedule now is so busy. And then I'm
Understand.
everywhere, and it's already booked, so it's kind of hard for me to come out. But just know when you see me like that like button, and when you see me put the heart, I support you. And when I leave a comment or if I share, that means I'm rocking with you. And that's to everybody who's on my Facebook page. When you see me do those things for you, you know that my heart is with you and I support you 1,000. I may not cannot be there, but I see what you're doing and I'm rooting for you and I want you to keep going and keep growing. Okay, guys,
Yeah.
have a wonderful day. Be your own sunshine because God didn't give us any today. And stay positive and stay focused. And I'll see you in the morning and have a beautiful day.
Bye.